farmers are furious. I mean, you know that, Martin, as you said, you've been speaking to them. GB News has done a huge amount to connect with farmers building up to this. And it's quite difficult to negotiate or reason with someone that's about to lose absolutely everything. Now, personally, I don't think I agree with some of the comments made on the show earlier. I don't think this is the right course of action. It's really important that the public stay on the side of farmers and make this all about the government. And I think you alluded to earlier, there being an action day on the 25th of January. That's going to be a constituency-wide action day where we're going to see local protests, tractor marches and demonstrations happening right up and down the country. And they're going to be taking place now on Labour's doorstep in these rural seats. We were only talking about it last week. I remember Gwen, who's on the show today, said that all these MPs are toast. Well, you know, it's still very early days, actually. And the More in Common poll that's been discussed, well, that's absolutely brutal for Labour in the countryside. Three-quarters of their seats gone, most going to the Tories, a handful to Reform and some to the SNP. It's a really dark time for Labour in the countryside, but they did this to themselves. And I hope that building into the new year, they get in touch with us and the other rural groups and try and work a way out of this mess.
I wonder if part of the issue is that farmers are so keen to keep the public on their side. They're so keen to do the right thing, to play by Queensberry rules, that it's not getting any traction. The farmers I speak to say each time they need to intensify their action. First, it was Wellingtons and hats at Westminster. Then it was tractors at Westminster. Now it's tractors in constituencies. But maybe it's time for something more brutal. And, you know, the message that I've been having today throughout my show 3 hours earlier on, a lot of people seem to think that food shortages, would be a price worth paying to actually make the government listen. Tony Blair's government had popularity in the year 2000 that this government can only dream of. The farmers blockaded then fuel depots, blockaded food. There were shortages on the supermarket. Blair did a U-turn within a week. Surely it's time for history to repeat itself.
Well, look, mate, no doubt about it. If these people are serious about carrying out that form of protest, then they're going to do it, and it is going to have consequences. And I said that's going to be a very bad look for the government. Yeah, farmers will take a hit in the poll in the public opinion polling, but ultimately it's the farmers. It's the government who are going to have to carry this one. I still don't think that the time is now for that. I personally don't believe that. I think that we are actually making a huge imprint. I mean, if you look at that More in Common polling and the breakdown in the rural seats, it's horrendous for Labour. And we know, we are hearing that it is cutting through amongst those rural MPs. Yeah, those rural Labour MPs didn't make much of a noise during the Opposition Day debate, but privately to constituents, they are voicing their concerns. And we knew this was going to happen. Let's not forget, Martin, when you're a new MP, it is actually really hard to put your head above the parapet. The whips come down on you like a ton of bricks, and they do intimidate new MPs. We've all seen it with colleagues in other parties. But the reality is that now, when they're looking at losing their seat and things getting a lot worse, I believe that the pressure will go up. And as I said, the 25th is just a start of constituency-wide targeting. And I hope to see a lot more. But ultimately, I just want Rachel Reeves to accept that she's got this one wrong, review the policy and move on.